Hello everyone, today's overview and review video is on the expansion for Dune Imperium, and that is Rise of Ix, and we are also reviewing the deluxe upgrade component box, big box that we got for this game too, so stick around for that video. Why can't I get that? No, I'm gonna redo that. Before we start, my name is Krissy and this is my channel 𝗪𝗘𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏. If there is a game out there that you would love to see on my channel, please let me know what that is down in the comments below, like this video, and of course go ahead and subscribe to the channel. So Dune Imperium is another game that I reviewed very early on the channel, so I'm very happy that it did come out with another expansion. Not another expansion. I'm glad that it came out with an expansion, Rise of Ix. So I will go over all of the things that is different because this expansion actually adds a little bit to this game, not only just adding a little bit extra of the same stuff, but it kind of changes the game a little bit. So let's go ahead and take a look at the table and we'll see what's going on. So in Dune, it is basically a worker placement. You're going to be placing your workers on different areas, but it's also a deck building. So you need to have certain cards to be able to go on certain spaces on the board. And whenever you can go on that board, then you're just going to go ahead and gain some of the bonuses that are on there, some of the benefits. And then there is also a combat phase. So whenever you see these little X's here, you'll be able to place workers, or you're going to be able to place troops in here, along with taking some from your garrison as well. So there's battle in this, there's worker placement, you're placing all of your workers to gain some resources, but you're also trying to go up the faction track here to try to gain some of the extra bonus or some of these victory points. So the person who gets to 10 victory points ends the game, and whoever ends up with the most victory points at the end is the player who wins. Now that's just kind of a gist and overall on how, a very, very quick overview on how you play this game. If you're looking for a more detailed overview on Dune Imperium, I will link my previous video up here, and I'll also link that down in the description below if you wanted to take a look at it after you're done watching this video. So as you can see, there are a few things that is a little bit different with this. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there is a board right over here that is completely covering up the 𝗬𝗪𝗘𝗧𝗏, and it is completely getting rid, well, not getting rid, it's completely changed this section of the board right here, now getting rid of the, basically the trade action up here. You can now go up on this new track right here, and we will go through that right now. So this track is basically a trading track. It's an interstellar shipping track, smuggling. If you go here, you can go up on this new track here. Now, as you place your workers here, you go up once because of this new icon here. You can go up once. Now, if you have enough factions over here, enough influence in the Spacing Guild, you'll be able to go into the interstellar shipping, which is just at the top, and you'd be able to either go up 2 spots, or if you make your way to wherever you need to go, because those are all benefits in the corner there that you're going to be gaining whenever you retract this tracker right here. So whenever you're retracting it, you only need 1 to come completely down. So once you get to the top, you can come all the way down for 1, but anytime you move up, it's going to cost you once every single time. Now, when you retract this, you're going to be able to gain every single bonus that is up there. The top one is a cost of a -2 for any of these tech cards here. So whenever you do that, and you can do these in any order that you want, you get to purchase a tech card with a -2 cost. This one, you'll be able to gain 2 troops into your garrison. You'll be able to go up in influence in any faction that you want. And then the last one, you have the option here to either gain 5 𝗧𝗪𝗔 or 2 spice. Now, since this is kind of a trading post, whenever you gain 5 𝗧𝗪𝗔, every other player is going to be gaining 1 𝗧𝗪𝗔, and that's the only time that any other player is going to gain anything based off of this track here alone. So that is one of the new tracks. This changes up here just a little bit as well. It still has the Mentat, it still has the Swordmaster here, so you can still gain the extra worker. It did get rid of the Hall of Oratory up here, and it did get rid of the rally troops. So it still includes the High Castle. You'll still be able to gain the extra 2 to purchase any cards after you're finished. And so those are the ones that got replaced by this new track right here. And the new board just completely covers up that section right there. And then the second new board comes for the tech tiles right here. There's 2 new locations, so they kind of replace the 2 that it's covering up with 2 new locations. So you can tech negotiate. So this will also give you 1 extra cost to purchase a card at the end of whenever you do your reveal phase. And you can also buy a tech tile with a cost of -1, or this new icon here is placing troops in here. So this is basically whenever you go to purchase one of these cards, you can take off a troop and it is going to be a minus for however many that you have in there. If you have 2 troops in there, you can take this off so that when you purchase this card, which is going to cost 4 spice, now it only ends up being 2 spice. And then the second location right here is something new, completely new, that's adding to the game, and it is these Dreadnaughts here. Once you play a card down to be able to go into this spot, and you can pay the 3 𝗧𝗪 for this, you can then place one of your Dreadnaughts. So your Dreadnought is basically, they're calling this a unit now, so depending on how many troops you have, or a Dreadnought, it is just called a unit now. So whenever it says you can bring in 2 troops, if you go on to 𝗪𝗘𝗙𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗠𝗣𝗕 up here, you're able to place a worker from your supply, or a troop, sorry, from your supply, and you can have up to 2 units now come out. So that can be any other troop if you wanted 2 troops, or with your Dreadnought. So whenever you're doing that now, at the end, whenever you go through the combat phase, all of these workers are 2, and any of the icons that you have down at the bottom are still 1. However, you're counting these as 3 now, and whenever your battle is completed, if you did not win, your troops come off and your Dreadnought retreats. It always goes back to your garrison unless you win the battle. In that case, you have the option of placing your Dreadnought in one of these 3 locations, so either Carthage, 𝗪𝗘𝗙, or the Imperial Basin, and you place that there instead of placing these control markers here. You're going to place that there instead, and if any other player goes on this location, you will then get the benefit from it. And then at the end of the next combat phase, then your Dreadnought does go back to your garrison for you to be able to use for the next turn. Now there are new conflict cards as well, so that it can implement some of these new icons. So things still remain the same within the game pretty much for everything. Really just the new track here is just giving you extra 𝗧𝗪, potentially some spice, some more troops to your garrison, and then purchasing the tech tiles at a discounted price. So it's helping you out in the game to try to help and maneuver, or help to move things on. So it's just basically trying to help you get the most resources that you can to succeed in the game. And then of course the tech tiles here, we can go through a couple of these. They all each have a different cost to them, but they also have benefits whenever you're gaining them. So this one here, whenever you purchase the 4 spice, you'll be able to gain 2 intrigue cards. This one you don't get anything. This one you would be able to get rid of a card. This one you'll be able to trash a card. And then a lot of the different bonuses here are this one, endgame you win a tiebreaker. Whenever you do your reveal turn, you gain 1 extra to purchase a card. This one, during your reveal turn, if you have 6 or more, you may trash one of your cards in play, which comes in handy whenever you have your starting deck and they're just kind of stuffing up your deck. So those are those ones. We have this one here on your reveal turn. So a lot of them on your reveal turn, a lot of them for your end game, a lot of them have the extra points here for at the end of the game. And so this one will give you 1 more strength for each revealed card that provides 1 or more strength in this turn. And then I just went through that one. This one here, oh, and this one will allow you to go up any one of the factions. And then this one will give you 2 cards that you can draw. And this one says you may put cards you acquire on top of your deck, and that is for 5 spices. We'll go through 3 more just so that you get a gist of kind of what these tech cards are. And you can have unlimited of these cards. These cards just go right beside your player card. So none of these have any benefits. This one, 3 spice, and you trash this, you gain a victory point. The end game, worth victory points for each faction where you have 1 or less influence. Not so bad, since you get 4 from there anyway. So depending on which route you take throughout the game, you might be able to gain some of these victory points back. This one, at the start of every round, you get to take an extra card to your hand at the end game. Worth victory points if you have at least 2 the spice must flow cards. And this one, if you have a seat at the High Council, then you get 4 strength for your battle. So all really good cards that you can take. These tech cards are a nice addition to the game. We did get a few extra cards with this, so it's implementing a few new icons now. So a lot of the cards that the expansion came with comes with the icon here for the tech tiles. And another one that this comes with is this icon right here. It's half of a worker. So that basically means whenever you are getting ready to place a worker out on the board, you can't normally place your worker on an occupied spot. However, if you have that icon on there, you would be able to place it in that location if another player was in that location as well. So that is a new icon right there, and they pretty much have them for all of the factions here. So depending on which one and which card that you have, you'll be able to go into that specific location. Then we have this one right here. Now this is called an unload icon. So you can play this card. You gain the 2 influence instead of 1 whenever you go up on any of the factions here. So whenever you play this card during a reveal phase, you'll just gain this benefit here. But if you were playing a card and you had this one in your hand, you were placing this card and it would allow you to trash a card, you could trash this card and gain this benefit here. There's also some that say if you discard a card, you gain the benefit. And then if you were to trash a card as well, you could choose to trash the same card that is in your play area, and you would be able to gain that benefit again. So there are a couple of these ones that are in the game, all with these benefits. It looks the exact same here, all with different benefits there for them. So those are new cards, new icons that come with the expansion, Rise of Ix. And of course, we did get 6 new player boards for this game as well, all with new signet ring benefits, all with different benefits here for at the beginning and throughout the game. So this princess here, Yuna, starts the game with no water, but whenever you gain 𝗧𝗪 on your turn, you increase that amount by 1. And then the signet ring benefit here is you pay 2 𝗧𝗪. Then you get to go up on any of the factions, up 1. You gain a troop to your garrison and 1 spice. Prince here. This one has to do with the tech tiles. This one, your Dreadnaughts have strength of 4 instead of 3. This one has a bunch of stuff going on here, but this one, if you go down on any of the tracks for influence, you gain 1 influence with a faction where you have a snooper token. So this one comes with specific tiles that you can use throughout the game. I haven't played with this one yet. Very interested to play with this one just for that extra little benefit, or the tokens that you can play with this one to see how that works. Looks like they have a bunch of different things that is going on that. And this one right here too, the signet ring, this one is you pay a 𝗧𝗪 to gain the folded space card. Round starts, set aside a card from your hand at the start of your second turn in a round, reveal that card and return it to your hand. If you use it to send an agent this turn, if it has exactly 1 agent icon, 1 spice, otherwise 1 coin. So they're all different. You can acquire a card that costs 3 or less whenever you play your signet ring. This one, reveal turn, if you have at least 2 agents on any of these 3 location board spaces, then you may trash one of your cards in play. And this one here, 1 spice to be able to move up 1 on that track up there. So, and they all do still come with the player aid down at the back. So that is basically a very small overview on how you play Dune Imperium, and then a little bit more on what are all the changes with this expansion, what it adds, all the good, none of the bad. So I really enjoy this game. I'm really enjoying all of these expansions for all the games that are coming out, or for the games that did come out last year, all the new expansions that are coming out for it now. I'm definitely enjoying it because it gets the games back to the table. Love that when an expansion it doesn't really change the game, it just adds a little bit more. I do enjoy whenever again, I feel like this kind of changes the game a little bit in the fact that I feel like it's really trying to push the combat for the game now, whereas before there was a couple different ways that you can go. I wasn't bothered too much by the combat. I'm not a very confrontational person, and the combat was just too much for me. But now with the Dreadnaughts that's added into this expansion, I feel like the game has kind of shifted a little bit its attention more towards the combat. You get more of the resources from the track, the new track that they added. You're getting more of the resources. You can go up 3 times on that track and come back down, gain all of the benefits. You get some of those tech tiles. A lot of the tech tiles will give you some of the strength for the battles, or for the combat. It'll give you a lot of the end game bonuses. So as long as you can go up some of the faction tracks, gain some of the influence over there, then you're going to be able to get some of the victory points at the end of the game. I like all of the new conflict cards that added, because it's adding all of the new icons that the expansion brings to the game, and all of the intrigue cards. A few of them are different. They're basically the same thing. You're still adding some of the strength for the battles. It does include some of the new icons now, but it's also including some more of those end game bonuses. So just overall, I really feel a shift in the game, and it's a lot more focused on the battle, which I'm not upset about, because the Dreadnaughts, you just recall them back to your garrison. They're not coming off like the other troops, and because they're so strong, they have a strength of 3, and then if you have whichever one it was, their Dreadnaughts are a strength of 4 instead. And then, so whenever you win the battle, your Dreadnought goes on to 3 different locations that you can place. It goes into 3 different locations, so that you kind of don't have them for the next battle. So it kind of gives the other players a chance to either get their Dreadnought out, or really try to actually win that battle to be able to gain some of those bonuses and the benefits and those victory points, because a lot of them have the victory points, and that's going to help you win the game. So I enjoyed that fact, and I do like that there are 2 Dreadnoughts, so that you can alternate them if you do continuously win the battles, so that you'll always at least have 1 in there. So really enjoying the Dreadnought aspect of it. I didn't think that I would enjoy the battle as much as I did. I have already recorded the playthrough for this, so I'm not going to spoil anything, but we have the old playthrough for this game as well, and I feel like I definitely took a different approach now with the expansion, which I'm sure that you could see if you watched both. I will link the old playthrough right here and link that one down below too, so that you can take a look at just the base game, how that one plays. And then next week, in a couple of days, I will have the playthrough out for it too, so that you can see the... I'm hoping that everybody agrees with me here about the shift for the combat. So take a look at that one whenever it comes out. Let me know what you think about the expansion and what it adds and how everything plays with it. I have been pretty battle deep, which again, not the way that I usually play, and it's benefited me. I haven't won. I haven't done well, but I have done better than I have because of the battle. So I think with this expansion, Dreadnaughts are a must. If you're not getting it out, I'm not quite sure that you're going to be able to gain enough of the victory points to actually win the game. So I think the Dreadnaughts are very important in this game, and I really think that the new track that they added is almost a necessity as well, because you're gaining so much 𝗧𝗪 up at that track, so you're going to be able to get the seat at the High Council. You'll be able to get your extra worker out, which really helps, obviously, too, and really get some of the good cards. So I did find that some of the new cards that were coming out too only had 1 or 2 icons on it for the board where you can actually go. The benefits down at the bottom for whenever you do your reveal phase, I think, are a lot better. There's a lot more going on in those ones in this new expansion. But I did feel that the cards, the icons on the cards whenever you're placing your workers, lacked a little bit. So I was kind of struggling to go up in any of the factions. I wasn't going up terribly high in any of those. Maybe it was just the games that I have been playing, maybe just bad luck on the draw and what I could actually afford. So I think that getting to the High Council, trying to tech negotiate, get one of those, and some of the tech tiles here will allow you to gain a couple extra too whenever you're doing your reveal phase. And that is something else too with the Intrigue deck that I did notice, is that it had a lot more of those points so that you can use to purchase the cards at the end. So that is great too. And there are some higher cards as well that are coming out with the new expansion. And of course, because these ones, whenever you're either discarding them or trashing them, you're getting the extra points or the extra benefit that's down there as well. So I really enjoyed it. And then the deluxe upgrade pack. Now this is a really big box. It comes with the expansions. I think my favorite thing in this whole thing is the first player token, because it's so thick, it's metal, it's strong. It's nice. And it's nice and heavy too. So I think that that's my favorite thing. I think metal, maybe metal must be my thing. But the minis are really nice too. It comes with these nice bases and the little troops here. They're not too small that they're awkward or that they're not needed. I really enjoy them. It kind of gives a nice visual to the game as well. So I liked all that, all of these for the factions as well. They all come with those. And then it does come with nice trays for everything. All of the resources and everything. It does come with all of the trays. There's lots of trays in here. Everything's really well organized. The expansion does fit in this big box as well. So there is one thing about the deluxe upgrade pack. It is the starter deck. The starter deck does not fit in sleeves in the spot that it's supposed to be in. It just doesn't fit. Everything else fits sleeved cards except the starter cards. But you can add the starter cards into where the rest of the deck goes into it. There is lots of room in there, so you can at least put them in there. But the spot specifically for the starter deck does not fit sleeved cards. That is the only downfall to this. But luckily there is other room so that you can place it in there. So it's not a win-win, not a loss-loss either, a win-loss. But everything fits in there. The expansion, all the base game, everything fits in this box. Everything has a spot and it all looks really nice. Everything is color coded too, so everything's stuck together so that you can quickly set up the game and you can quickly take the game down too, which is a bonus because this isn't necessarily a small game, especially with all of these minis and everything that you get with the deluxe upgrade pack. So anyways, that was my overview and review on the expansion for Dune Imperium, Rise of Ix, and a little mini review of the deluxe upgrade pack. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you next video. I have already recorded. Okay. The chroma here, the choma, the chome, the comb, the chome,